Hello, this is Mr. Stansbury. I'm going to take you through some of the problems on the 7F assignment. First one we're going to look at here is number 2. Find the bearing of Q from P in each diagram. Okay, so remember, bearing always starts from due north. So look, they actually give you the bearing angle here. It's just simply 126 degrees. Okay. For E, we want to find what this angle right here is. Okay, so we know that these two angles here have to add up to 180. So if we take 180, this is going to be 180 minus this 28. That is going to give us 152 degrees is going to be what that bearing angle right there is. So always start from due north and go clockwise around to the line, the bearing line that you're getting, that you want to go to. Okay? All right, so let's take a look. Number 4, in the diagram given, find the bearing of B from C. So here's the thing. You always got to start with the from C. So this is first, and then you're going to that one. So really you're going from 1 to 2. So starting at C, due north, we want to go all the way back around here to B. That's how we do bearing. Okay. So we basically, we got to figure out what that whole thing there is. So what's going to help is the problems that we did over here earlier, which I don't have on there. So we're just going to figure those out. I'm just going to start writing down whatever I can figure out. So since all these lines here are parallel, if this is 72, then this here, this angle, this piece right from here to here has to equal 72 plus whatever this is going to equal 180. So if we do 180 minus 72, that's going to leave us with 108. So this angle I know right here is 108. And if this is 162, that's 108. We know that all three of these have to add up to 360. So 360 minus 108 and 162. That's going to be 360 minus 270. That magically gives us 90 degrees right here. Okay. And then let's see. If we know that this is 90 and this is 49, then we can figure out what this is, because we know all these angles here have to add up to 180 degrees, right? So 180 minus the two angles that we already have, 90 and 49. It's going to be 180 minus 139 is going to end up giving us, what, 41 degrees? So this right here I know is 41 degrees. So I'm going to go through and figure out as many of these angles as we can off the top. So let's see. Really what we need to know for the one that we're doing is we need to know what this angle right here is. So here's the good news. This is this here and this here. These two angles here have to be supplementary as well. So we just want to do 180 minus 162 is going to tell us that that right there is 18 degrees. So to figure out the bearing angle of B from C is going to be, it's just short of a full circle, right? 360 minus that 18 degrees there is going to give us 342 degrees. 342 right there. Now A from C, let's do that in, say, green here. You know what? Let's do that in green. So A from C. So we're starting at C and we're going to go back to A. So we got to figure out what this is right here. So good news is we know that this is 49 and 18. So really what we can do, since we just figured this, that from this blue one here around to here is 342, all we have to do is subtract 49 from that, and that will give us our new bearing angle. So we do 342 minus 49, and that is going to give us, let's see, what, 293? Yep. Okay. So again, bearing angles, you want to use lots of supplementary angles, knowing that we've got full 360 degrees. These can be tricky to figure out. You just want to try to figure out as many little pieces as you can, and then all you have to do is just start adding, subtracting to find your final answer there. Okay, next one, number 5. When Walter drives to a sports club, he finishes 10 kilometers east and 7 kilometers south of where he started. So let's do this. He starts here. So he starts here, and he's 10 kilometers east. Okay, so that would be east, right? Because if we've got our little compass rose, never eat shredded wheat, or never eat soggy waffles, or whatever you use, right? So this is 10 kilometers east, and then also 7 kilometers south. And that is, since it's east and south, that makes a nice 90-degree angle. So here's our nice little triangle here. Find Walter's bearing from his starting point. So if we make our little bearing points here, here's due north. So what we're trying to figure out then, if we're doing bearing point, the bearing angle, we're trying to figure out what this green angle is right here, right? We know that this is 90, so if we can figure out what this angle right here is, then we're in shape, all right? And we can, because look, we have a right angle, and we have this opposite side and this adjacent side. So we can use opposite and adjacent as tangent. So we can do tangent of the angle, theta. It has to equal opposite, which is 7, over adjacent, which is 10. So to find an angle, we do second tangent, 7 divided by 10. Ooh, what happened? That was here. That was a U. Somehow I did something weird. Sorry. Second tangent, 7 divided by 10. Let's see if that works. That should work. 34.99. So we're calling theta 35 degrees. So this is 35, but it's plus another 90. So our angle there is going to be 35 plus 90 is going to be 125 degrees is our bearing angle from his starting point. Okay. All right, next one we have is number 11. An orienteer runs 750 meters in the direction 236 to a checkpoint. Okay, so let's do this. Let's draw ourselves our little due north here. And he's going to go, he says he's 236 degrees. So here's 90, 180. All the way up here is 270, so it's somewhere out here. We don't know exactly where, and you do not have to measure that. And then we're going to call that, say, 720 meters, right? In the direction, this is 236, okay? And then 460 meters in the direction of 146 degrees. So now we draw, here's the key, you got to draw a new starting little compass rose here. And again, we're still starting from up top here at the due north, right? And so let's see, 146 degrees. So from here, we, again, this blue line we don't care about right now. All we're doing is drawing 146 degrees. So there's 9, oops, keep doing that. 90 degrees, 140, this is 180 is going to be over this line here, so it's somewhere out here. Again, we don't know exactly where. We're just going to kind of guesstimate and say it's about there. And this one's only, let's see, this is only 460 meters. Okay, find the, let's see, I'm going to make a nice little triangle here because we already have two sides here. Find the distance from the starting point to the finishing point. Now, here's what we want to do. Here's what we're going to hope for. This angle right here we know is 146. Let's find the difference between these two angles. 236 minus 146. Look what that gives us. 90 degrees. So that makes this a 90-degree angle right here, which makes this a right triangle, which is going to make finding our distance here, we'll call that D for distance, that's going to be a lot easier now because we've got our right angle. Right, so we can do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Or in this case here, our c is our distance, so we'll do d squared. And then we just choose either of these two for a and b. So we can do 720 squared plus 460 squared equals d squared. Okay, so let's do 720 squared plus 460 squared. Gives us a big number, I bet. 730,000 equals d squared. So we square root both of those sides there. We take the square root of our answer, and we get 854.4. And that is what meters is the distance. Okay, so this is part A. Okay, so we get 854.4 for our distance. Okay, and then now find the bearing of the finishing point from the starting point. So this is our finishing point here, so we got to draw another compass rose right here, right, with our due north. And let's do B here in green, the bearing of the finishing point from the starting point. So starting from here where we started, right, we're going to find the bearing angle to the finishing point. So that's going to be this right here. Okay, so we're trying to figure out what that angle there is. So let's see what we can't figure out here. Okay, let's just start finding what pieces we can. So let's see, if this from here around to here is 146, we know that from here to here is 90. So if we do 146 minus 90, that gives us that this right from here, this red line down to here, this is 56 degrees, which makes this 56 degrees. And then this little angle piece right here, these two are going to have to add up to 90. So if we do 90 minus 56, that's going to leave us with 34. So this is 34 degrees, right? And then let's see if this from here around to all the way around to here is 236. From this blue line back to the red line is going to be 236 minus 180 is going to give us 56 degrees here. So from here out to here, from this red line to the blue line out here is 56 degrees. Okay. Okay, now, here's what I'm just thinking. This is a 90-degree angle, and we actually know all the sides, so we could actually find this. I'm going to do this in purple here. We can find this whole angle here from the blue line to the blue line, right? So let's do that. So just to kind of do a quick little redraw here. This is this this piece right here is this right angle. This down here is this, our ending point. So here's our starting point and our ending point. And there's our 90-degree angle right there. So we can figure out what this angle is right here because we know that this is 720 and this is 460. Those were both given to us. We could also use this 854.4, but that's a rounded number. I'd suggest using these two. That side and that side, this is the opposite. This is the adjacent. So that's telling us that we want to use tan theta equals 720 over 410. So we're looking for an angle. So we do second tangent, 720 divided by 410 gives us 60.3, we'll call it. Okay, so we know that this whole angle right here is 60.3 degrees. So to figure out what this little sliver piece right here, I'm running out of colors, we're going to call that the orange piece right there. That's going to be 60.3 minus 34, right? Borrowed one from there, and that is 26. So this right here is 20. This little sliver right there is 26.3 degrees, which means since these two lines are parallel And there's our little transversal from geometry. That means that this angle right here is also going to be 26.3 degrees. So we can take 180 plus this 26.3 to get our bearing angle. And I really hope that this is right, because that was a lot of work to go through and figure that out. Okay, let me peek really quick. Yep, let's see. They've got 203 degrees, so I'm off a little bit here. I missed something, so I'm gonna pause and figure out what I missed, and then we'll fix it. I figured it out. This is 460, and I put 410, so that's supposed to be 460. So I'm gonna pause and just fix these numbers here and just show you what I did really quick. Okay, so recalculated that. Instead of 60.3, it's 57.4. So that means this whole angle right here is 57.4. So I subtracted 34 from the 57.4 to get 23.4, which is this little sliver in here. So I know that this bearing angle had to be 180 plus 23.4, which is 203.4, which is what we're looking for. Okay, that one's a tricky one. That takes a fair amount of time to get all straightened out and taken care of. So let's look at one last one here. Yachts A and B both depart from the same point. Yacht A sails 11 kilometers at the bearing of 34. So let's say they start from here. And let's see. Let's make our little compass rose here, right? So again, they start from here, and yacht A sails 11 kilometers on a bearing of 34 degrees. So that's going to be something probably about like that. So let's see, this is going to be 11 kilometers at a bearing of 34, right? Yep. So this is boat A, where they end up at. Okay, and then yacht B sails at 14 kilometers at a bearing of 124. So let's do that. Yacht B is going to be in green. So 124, so there's 90. Oh, I keep doing that. 90. Oh, still not pretty. 90. And then 124 is going to be somewhere down here. We don't know where, so we'll just kind of draw that. And that's at 14 kilometers. And there's where B is. Okay. And then it says find the distance and bearing of yacht B from yacht A. So find the distance. So let's do this. We're going to connect those two. So we're going to find this distance here. So again, a big key here is, let's see, I did not write down this bearing angle right here, which is 124. So the nice part is, if you look at this, we take 124 minus the 34 degrees here, and that leaves us with 90 degrees. So that means that this makes a nice right angle right here. Okay, so this is 11, this is 14. So to find the distance, it's going to simply be A squared plus B squared equals C squared, right? And our D is our C squared, and the other ones are 11 squared and 14 squared. So we can do 11 squared plus 14 squared gives us 317 equals D squared. So we square root both sides and get that the distance between the two yachts is 17.8. So they are 17.8 kilometers away from each other. Okay, and then the fun part, the bearing angle. We gotta draw ourselves our little compass roses. Well, you don't have to, but for me it makes it a lot easier to try to figure out. So I'm going to draw those in there. And then it says find the distance and the bearing of yacht B from yacht A. So if we're trying to find the bearing angle here, let's see, what color have I not used? Let's do, let's just do black. So we're going to try to find what this angle is right here. That's what we need to know. Okay. So what we got to do is we got to try to start piecing together. We got to start figuring out what all these angles are. Let's see. So if this is 34, this has to be 34, right? And then, hey, look, we could find this whole angle right here because we have a right triangle and we've got two sides. So look, from this angle right here, let's use the two sides that they gave us, opposite and adjacent, right? So we could say, hey, tangent of this whole angle right here is going to be opposite, which is 14, over adjacent, which is 11. So to find an angle, we do second tangent of 14 divided by 11, not 1. Second tangent 14 divided by 11. There we go. And we get 51.8, we'll call it. Okay, so we know that whole angle right there is 51.8. I'm going to redraw some of this stuff here so that we can have some room here. So this was 11 kilometers. Still not easy to read. Let's try that one more time. There we go. And then, so we know that this whole angle here is 51.8. But we know from just here to here, from the blue to the red, is 34. So if we do 51.8 minus 34, that gives us, let's see, 4 from 11 is 7, right? 17. So this little sliver right in here is 17.8 degrees. So basically that means it's 17.8 degrees short of 180. So we would want to do 180 minus 17.8 is going to give us what? 162.2, right? Okay, and that these are, just checked them, these are both correct. Okay? Okay, that's all we have for the 7F assignment. If you have any further questions on any of these or anything else, please feel free to ask. Thanks.